honest answer. Well, I'll say as a professional driver, I get to work with a lot of car companies, a lot of premium car companies, and every time they introduce a new technology, whether I'm presenting it or testing it or demonstrating it to a prospective buyer, sometimes I'm a little bit skeptical, and in all honesty, I was skeptical about the EyeSight system. And really quickly, you start to gain confidence with it and you start to trust it. And by the end of the day, you get to the point where you think, how do I live without this? Out of the 4 technologies that we were demonstrating on the Subaru Legacy, I'd say the most useful would be pre-collision braking, simply because it's something that you would employ on a daily basis. You're not gonna rely on it because you don't wanna have to use it, but if you ever do trigger it, you're gonna be so stoked that you have it. Subaru's adaptive cruise control was a really interesting one for me because I've worked for a lot of premium manufacturers and I've tested all these systems, and some of the early ones, in all honesty, just weren't ready for prime time. And this one's very, very simple. 3 different trailing distances. The car almost never varies. Very smooth throttle application when it's starting to accelerate once somebody has moved out of your way. And even the brake application, I'd be lying if I said I could match the smoothness of the system, and that kind of irritated me. The pre-collision throttle management system was another interesting one in that, as a driver, again, when you press the throttle pedal, you expect to have a certain reaction from the car. But when the system is activated, it's activated because you're about to run into something. The system will take away the throttle from you. So here you are pressing the throttle, and all of a sudden, the car's not going anywhere. You feel the throttle being released even though you haven't moved your foot. But when you realize again why it's doing it, what it just saved you from, invaluable. The lane departure and lane sway warnings are very helpful. You can imagine it's a long drive, you're tired, a long day at work, you're just wanting to get home. As soon as you start veering off or swaying off into another lane, it recognizes that and it will actually give you an audible warning to keep you in your lane. So it kind of like, hey, get back on point, concentrate on what you're doing. And it's nice to have these systems on. It's almost like a second set of eyes, the EyeSight system. It is absolutely worth its weight in gold. If nothing else, the fact it can help you avoid a collision. It keeps you in your lane. The various things it does, not to sound redundant, it's another set of eyes. And I mean, what's the price of that?